So let's talk about it.
Well, oh, okay.
How
Well,
you still have biceps, man?
I don't. My arms are so tiny.
Damn, I have no definition.
My arms are small. Well, look, it's 2 men. This is what therapy is like for black men.
It's
Like you
22
showing up.
inches right here, baby.
This is what black men makes black men feel better, showing up biceps to each other. We don't gotta talk, just show those tries.
Well, your tries are nuts.
Yeah, I've always had nice triceps.
You've never thought of competing?
I've thought of it, I just never dedicated enough. Working out is more for my mental health than it is, and my vanity than it is for like something I want to do consistently.
For me as well, it's the only space where I get to take as much space as I want
Mhm.
versus myself and fight myself and beat myself up without feeling guilty.
Yeah.
It's an amazing space.
I think it's better for men to express themselves physically. It's just you got to find a healthy way to express it physically. That's our outlet is like more physical.
Plus, it also builds up your testosterone, releases the necessary dopamines, your sex drive.
Yeah.
Working out is the greatest thing that you can do for your own body because you have
Yeah,
one body, so you might as well make it work for you.
facts. I would love to do a retreat and do like a break room. Do a break room and a retreat. That'd be fun. I
Don't
should
tell
do
them our secrets yet. Don't tell them our secrets yet. Coming
that.
soon.
Coming
Coming,
soon.
coming soon.
A men's breaking shit retreat.
So I would like to introduce a topic today that I feel like you can relate to as well. The loss,
Bicycle. Oh, sorry.
the squats. How much do you squat?
I don't squat shit now. I fucked up my knee. I fucked up my knee playing basketball. I came down and I heard like a crunch, like when you crack your knuckles, and then it swelled up. So I'm hoping that I didn't tear any ligaments in my fucking knee. But I got the swelling down. I'm walking again.
Bad bitches don't sprain their knees.
I hope so.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. Not a bad bitch no more. You're
Yeah,
injury prone. You're
it's an
AD.
old bitch.
Anyways, I wanted to talk about loss of friendships, man.
Yeah.
A few days ago, I got a call from one of my high school friends. We were very close. I had an amazing relationship that lasted throughout college, and we haven't talked, I say, for about 5, 6 years now. And when I saw his name on my phone, I sent it straight to voicemail.
Okay.
Like I had no desire to have a conversation with that individual, especially as I started to become more aware of the things that they have done, things that I wouldn't stand for, things that I wouldn't approve, things that I don't want to be associated with, especially now that I am a father. Like I lost complete respect for that individual, and standing next to them just not something that I would be proud of.
Or they're a bad dad.
I'm not gonna speak to their parenting because I don't know their situation. I'm not that plugged in into their lives.
Yeah, they're
Well, know
bad
what's happening,
dads.
but my the way that I define a man and the principles and the ethics of being a, an upstanding citizen and upstanding human being, they've
Mhm.
violated that in so many different ways.
So hypothetically speaking, right? Let's just call this person bad dad, right?
No, they're not a bad dad. We're not going to do that. We're going to
Okay,
say
all right,
bad
good. So
person,
they're a bad husband.
bad person.
All
I'm
right,
not
bad
going to speak to
boyfriend.
nobody's relationship, no
Okay, so
parenting, because I'm not that plugged in into their lives.
bad boyfriend,
Bad
bad
man, bad
bad
man, bad
bad
man,
son.
bad man.
Okay, bad person. You have no respect for it, and they called your phone and you igged it, and it's been sitting on your chest.
Yeah, because it kind of hurts.
That they would hit you up?
No, that I've had to walk away from that friendship. That's so many amazing memories, been through a lot, experienced a lot together, close friendship, respect, trust, and just getting insight into the things that they have done, and seeing that and hearing about that just tarnish my idea and my perception of them.
But if you had so many good memories, where is this pain stemming from? Why is that when you think of these memories that you don't feel good if you have good memories?
So it's more like, damn, why? Why? Right? Like, especially with male friendships, we tend not, there is this perception that we don't hold each other accountable, that we're willing to overlook a number of things just because we're bros, right? I've heard this saying where someone said every woman has been sexually assaulted. Every woman knows another woman that has been sexually assaulted, but no man knows a rapist. I'm not calling nobody a rapist. This is just a saying, right? Which again speaks to the lack of accountability that men have with each other, with one another. Like, if you did certain things that I wouldn't do, that I find disrespectful to the human race or to the principles of being a human being, how can I stand next to you?
So what's hurting you is that this sexual assaulter is somebody that was.
Wait, I never said anybody committed a sexual assault. I'm saying holding each other accountable as men.
Got it.
When do we draw the line? When do we stop saying? When do we stop showing up for one another when we know that we don't agree with their actions and their behaviors?
All right. So what's hurting you is that this person did something that made it so that y'all can no longer be friends.
Yeah, it's the loss of friendship. Like, bro, I can't be your friend no more because you're an asshole.
So you miss this person.
I miss what we had because we haven't had a friendship in a number of years. Like, we don't interact. It just, when I think back to my earlier teenage years, we had a lot of fun together. Why couldn't you continue being that same person? Why did you have to evolve to this asshole that I could never stand next to?
So what I don't want to, I'm not even gonna drag it out, but I guess my thought process behind it is I try to view what do I miss or what do I want in someone, right? And what they provide me and who they are like separate from me. So if someone is providing me a friendship and honesty, well, I can get friendship and honesty in many places. So I don't miss, do I miss friendship and honesty, or do I miss the person themselves? So if I miss the person themselves, then what they did or what they're doing is, or what they did for me is like pretty irrelevant. So I miss this person regardless of what they did. Now I'm not gonna fuck with them because of what they did. So I'm leaving it at that, and I'm leaving the friendship aside. Now what comes into play for me to be okay with leaving that person out of my life is my acceptance of things just die. Experiences die, friendships die, relationships die, everything comes to a finality. And when it comes to the finality, then I can conclude all the memories I have of this person. And if us coming to a completion or coming to an ending was a bad memory, at least I have all these other good memories of this person to like go back to. Not saying that makes me want to be friends with this person, but now when I think of this person or think of these memories, I don't have that feel of pain or hurt. But that's just the way I be thinking about it.
No, I agree with you. It's not that I'm hurt by it, it's
Mhm.
that I'm like, just I don't even know how to put. I'm disappointed.
Disappointed.
I'm annoyed, and I could be a resource. That might be why they're reaching out or etc. But it just my once I lose that respect and that trust for you, there's no way back, right? Because me and you would need to have some very uncomfortable conversations, and which we've attempted to do in the past, but there's always been a lack of accountability. Like, if you can even step outside of yourself to see how you were the oppressor, then me and you have nothing to talk about because you have yet to self reflect and do your personal work. And me just coming around you and giving you that validation is me saying everything you did was okay and you not taking accountability.
So you don't like disappointment.
It's, it's not, I don't like this. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. Just like you and I, right? If you know life goes on and you've managed to do a number of things that I felt were very oppressive
Yeah.
or unethical,
Mhm.
that friendship would cease, right? And it's not just that I'm mad that I'm disappointed, it's just like the type of person you are, I can't fuck with that. Because I'm not like that and I'm against that. So me and you, we cannot be friends because we're in two different worlds.
Yeah, I get that. I'm happy that like that's the root feeling of like this situation to make you know like I can't go back to back to being a friend with that person, because I feel as if men get very surface level when it comes to drawing the line with not
Mhm.
fucking other men, or
Exactly.
where they want to provide accountability when it comes to other men. And so there's not really a root of like I can't fuck with this person. It's just very on top. It's like, all right, yeah, they did something, so I'm gonna just step away. But in the root, you really don't feel like this person did anything wrong, or you really don't feel like there's any big deal about this. And so you'll backtrack, or you might overlook things when it comes to holding this person accountable. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of men go about going about how they view the wrongs that men have done.
So from your perspective, right, when we're thinking of male friendships,
Hmm.
why is it why is it so difficult for some men to hold each other accountable to a high degree?
Um,
I know that like throughout our teenage years we've been conditioned with this concept of bro code, um, bros over hoes, like all of these different sayings that speaks to the brotherhood. But part of being a good friend is being able to set those boundaries and hold each other accountable. And no, and a lot of times that might require you to remove that comfort that you were giving them access to.
I mean, honestly, there really don't be any consequences. When you when you really think about it, to hold a guy accountable and not hold him accountable, there's really no consequences. We didn't come up with, but we're able to view the consequence of sexual assault or being a bad dad or being a bad friend, where it can affect us as a community. Me and you here, sitting here, a few people can view that and understand that that's why we need to hold men accountable, because it's detrimental to our community, and we can understand that viewpoint and that understanding. Not everybody can. A lot of men only view consequences from their field of vision, from what they can see or how far it affects them. So if the shit not really personally affecting me and I don't have to hold you accountable, there's nothing that's really gonna bother me. There's nothing really that's gonna be a consequence to me. But now if I'm a guy that it's not bothering me from like an immediate standpoint, but I understand that it can bother the community of black people, of black men and black women, or black everyone. Then I have to stand up and do something about it. But most of the times there really is no consequences if you really think about it to men, unless we view it as an immediate really in our field of view.
Yeah. And we can even take that a step further into the dating world, where there's a tendency to say that a man can find multiple good women, while a woman would struggle finding a good man. Like, when is it that we're gonna step in front of the mirror as men and really start to take a look at ourselves and stop being so low level?
Maybe when we start being challenged to, like, even things like that about men and women, and like it's easier for men to find a good woman. It's like verbiage like that. Verbiage like, oh, there's more women in the world, so men have more options. So it makes the women have to fight and us have to just relax. Like, there's just little things that's always being said, little things that's always being done in society that doesn't really put pressure on men. And sometimes this shit gets easier, sometimes it gets harder, but it's not until we're challenged that we make change.
It's as if we're okay with just existing in this space with the lack of desire to be better in many cases, right? Hearing there's multiple good women, but there's no good men. Like, a woman cannot find a good man. You should not be proud of that, homie. That's not
It's
something
not a
to
badge of honor.
champion at all. That's something that's making you look in the mirror and self-reflect and ask yourself, why is it that we can't step up? Why must women settle for the bare minimum to some degree?
Well, because women will settle for the bare minimum.
Yes, and there's a specific reason for that. Like, all around the world, there's 6 women to 1 man. I get that.
We don't know that.
No, it's true.
No, but that's what I'm saying, right? I understand that these are studies that are done to calculate the amount or whatever, right? I understand that. You don't know that for sure. For 100% accuracy, you don't know that. So now let's just take that out the equation. Let's work with what we know.
Okay.
And what we know is, regardless of how many women to men there are in the world, we need to not use the verbiage of that, because it then puts the lax on men to not worry anymore, because I got options.
In theory, yes, but practically speaking,
Okay.
that's the truth, though, right? It's data, right?
I don't know that.
Okay, what day is today?
We have all agreed in society.
So if that's the case, we don't know anything.
We don't. Everything
Right?
is made up.
Okay.
But everything is made up, right? But we can choose how we go about these made up things. And what I'm saying is, regardless if somebody is telling me that the odds is 6-1 in my favor, I'm not going to act on that. And what a lot of men will do is act on that. And that knowledge right there, they will go, I have more options, so I don't really got to treat this bitch that well. Because there's more bitches out here that will deal with me, that will deal with my bare minimum. That is literally the verbiage that men will go about. And that goes down into how we don't hold other men accountable. Because everything is so lax, we don't have to really treat the women as with much care, because there's more women.
Okay. So holding you accountable here would be to request that you stop referring to women.
No, I'm not saying.
I know. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
But that is the verbiage of how men will speak. Like, yo, don't worry about that. There's most hoes out here.
No, if Erica was here, she would strangle you.
Who?
Erica.
I'm speaking in quotations of what other men would say.
Yeah, but yes, you're 100% correct, right? There's this whole narration of men just doing the bare minimum all across the world in every aspect. And just women having to accept that. And that starts in our friendships with each other. So this particular friend, right? There was a group of us. It was a clique. The other men of that clique still have a very close relationship with said individual, which speaks directly to what you just said. If it's not affecting them directly, then they have no issue with it because they enjoy the friendship, and they will just turn a blind eye to the oppressive behaviors. I can't do that. I am a man of principles, and I like to be around of other men of principles. So when you can't follow certain principles or just be a good human, I don't want to be around you because you're a timming time bomb. Eventually, you're going to do something that's going to affect me. And if I continue to make excuses the same way that everybody else is doing, then as your friend, you get to continue to be this low-level, bare minimum person. And if I care for you, I would want you to elevate your game. And I do so by removing access that you had to me and to my life. Why is that not the norm? Actually, we've already talked about why. Tell me, what is it that we can do to
now we're getting
make this the norm?
Now we're getting solution based. We start weeding people out. You do the work yourself. We encourage everybody to do the work themselves, right? We start making it a standard to hold each other accountable. We start making it cool to make sure you're respectful, right? And
be a good dad, to be a good person, to know how to treat your romantic partners.
Yeah, exactly. And so once you do that, those can't like keep up, they start to weed out. Either they make the change or they get left behind until there are enough of us that are here that are doing the work and being respectful. So it's kind of like a group sovereignty. So like you do the work yourself, I do the work yourself, we find people that are doing the work, and those groups become bigger. We start raising kids that understand that mentality. Honestly, that it just takes time. But it's so much easier now to see those men who aren't meant or can't keep up in today's society of how you should treat each other.
Yeah,
it's much easier to see now than it was when you were in college, when you were younger, when you were a teenager, right? Because we're growing up. It's even easier for us to see it in our kids and in the generations before us. So you just start weeding people out, and then you just know which circles to keep close and keep tight, and which ones to grow and nurture.
Do you think that us men tend to have difficulty ending male friendships?
I think us men.
About you, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about to the 99%.
No, I was gonna say I think all of us have difficulty ending relationships, period, and ending relationships healthy. I'm talking about all men. Like even in relationships with women, sometimes we'll make the shit get so bad so she breaks up with us.
I've never broken up with a woman, but I've deliberately engaged in behaviors that would lead to her breaking up with me.
Yeah. Right. And then men would not really communicate with each other. So they'll make shit get worse without even like just saying like, yo, let me holler at you for a second.
Yes. But again, like with those of us that can understand their friends' emotions and feelings, right? For a while I struggled with that because he opened up and I knew of his experiences, of his traumatic upbringing and childhood, which may have led or contributed to his behaviors later in life. Just because I understand it doesn't mean I have to accept it.
I agree.
Right? I can empathize with you and still not fuck with you.
I agree.
Like, I understand why you would behave this way based on A, B, C, and D. However, I can't stand by you doing A, B, C, and D as a man. So as a result, I'm going to remove myself.
Gotcha.
And then the guilt begins, right? Oh, you were never a friend. Oh, you're judging me. Oh, if it was you, I would never do this. I would never do that. And I had to sit there and just take it. I said, okay, I understand.
Not a lot of truth, my brother. You're right. I will not sit here and take
Yeah,
it.
I understand. Okay, cool. I get it. And then the group start to direct at you. Yo, you were never a good friend. Yo, we're not supposed to do that to each other. Yo, we was a clique. Yo, we was all together and etc. But you guys are accepting of those oppressive behaviors. Well, I asked one of our other friends, right? I'm like, how would you feel if your family members, your sisters, your cousins was to date that individual? Would you approve of that? He said no. So why is this person a friend of yours? I don't get it.
You know it's another thing I think about sometimes, how we, make sure I say this correctly. I think we think men to have like a very solitude nature to us, that when it comes to the point where we group up and group think, it's kind of a shocker. So we feel this need for brotherhood, right? And togetherness. And that is what holds more power than whatever one individual within that brotherhood did, as long as we're not doing it to each other. I think that it's easier for men to stick together, even if it's something that they don't necessarily agree with, because we don't actually like solitude as much as society deems it so.
It's a good point.
I don't think that niggas even always gotta fucking agree with each other. They'll still stay in a group.
You're right. I 100% agree.
Yeah, I think that it's easy for us to cut off situations when it's like a one-on-one relationship. So it's easier for us to like dump a girl, right?
Yeah, because right, just to piggyback of what you just said, us as human, we're always seeking connection and interaction and our place in society and that interaction with other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So within a group aspect, especially when you're becoming a teenager, like you're moving away from your family to your friends group, and that friends group speaks to your self-esteem, your safety, your security, your popularity, all of those things that really matters to you at that age. So now it tends to be very difficult to kind of remove yourself from that comfort zone that has been created and that has been catering to you, and be alone, right? Nobody wants to be by themselves.
No, but instinctively and like animalistically, I think that it's just natural movement for men to go off and be alone and then create their own tribe, where it's like women are grown with a tribe and they're taken from their tribe by a man to like then create and populate. So I think that we look for groupthink, and this is only specifically to why niggas move in a group, and they'll rather prioritize the group over their own individual thought process.
Yeah, I mean, prior to this year, I've never gone to dinner by myself. Never.
Why?
I don't know. It's just if I was going somewhere, I would have somebody with me, or my friend. I would just be around my friend group.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I've made it a habit of going to the movies alone, going to dinner alone, just going for walks alone, right? And I think that has opened my mind around being an individual and just worrying about myself and understanding myself a lot better and being comfortable also being alone. Right. And plus, I have kids at home, man. So if I could get away for a second and just chill in quietness and stillness,
Yeah.
best believe I will take full advantage of that.
Well, I mean, being alone isn't really encouraged because people get alone and they start feeling lonely. They don't necessarily like being with themselves, but you got to be alone and find out what you like about yourself. Find out what you like to eat, what you like when there's nobody else around, what you like sexually.
Right.
Like, you do those things by being alone, and then that's when you can communicate to other people what you want.
The power of silence.
That shit is so important.
My God. I wake up an hour or two earlier than everybody else just so I can be in quietness. And I would do so with no AirPods. I'm not listening to no music or no podcast, just with my cup of coffee. That shit is fucking amazing.
It's good.
So now to circle back to the friendship though, if I'm being honest, I am still experiencing a degree of guilt, right? In kind of wanting to be present to help that individual through whatever it is that they've encountered. I know that I've been a positive influence in their lives, right? And even those that have dealt with them have always told me that my absence is felt. However, I cannot make peace or generalize what has taken place.
Can I ask you a question?
Talk to me, King.
Is the reason why you feel pain about this situation because you still feel some guilt, even though you know this is not a good person to be around?
Let me not say guilt.
Okay. Because words have definitions.
Yeah. It's saddening.
So
I'm sad for them that they lost me.
Okay.
Right? I'm sad for them that they lost me because I know that I was a positive influence in their life and would continue to do so. I know that I could help them further, but the shit that they've done, I cannot accept. So therefore, they lost me, and that hurts because you had me and you fucked up, then lost me, and now you must experience life without me.
Okay, sounds like a little bit of ego plus empathy. Okay.
You might say that, and it does make sense, but it's true. Right.
Here to call you
a loss of a friendship is something that's a big deal, depending on how close that friendship was. It was an emotionally intimate friendship. Like, if you needed to talk or process your emotions or cry, I'm the person you would go to. Something was happening in your life, I'm the person that you would go to.
Okay, so because you know the type of person you are within your personal and in your professional life, it hurts you that you can help this person, but they fucked up so bad that you're not willing to go over into that space. And you know that you could have helped this person, but you can't go over to that space.
Correct.
Okay, I understand that.
That's what's sad.
Yeah.
That's what's sad.
Yeah. You're the person that can help, but you can't bring yourself to do it.
I can't.
This person used to be mixed with this person used to be a friend.
I can respect what you've done, and I can align with that. I cannot be around you. I can't sit across from you. I don't want to act like we're good. I don't want to act like everything's okay. I don't want to hear your storyline.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear the lack of accountability.
I'm sorry that you're in that position. That's not a very knowing that you can and want to help someone, but they've done something that makes you not even want to give off a positive energy towards them is pretty hurtful. I've thought about today because I've been feeling some type of angst in my body, and I realized that it stems from I feel uncomfortable when I get to the point of realizing I can't fuck with somebody in a certain type of way. Like
Right?
it's realizing that, oh shit, you did something that made me not be able to look at you the same and fuck with you
Yes.
the same.
Yes.
That shit
That's
is
it
an
right there.
feeling.
Yeah. And the whole time they're acting like they still want to fuck with you that way, but you're like, we can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm going through a breakup.
Listen, you're going through a death. You're going through a dying phase, man. A relationship is dying and you're feeling it.
Yeah, I looked at my phone, it's ringing, and it's this person's name, and the first thing to come to mind, like, what the fuck you calling me? And secondly, why do I still have your number saved? This weekend, I plan on going through my contact list. Anybody that
That
doesn't
stuff.
bring me positivity or I've not engaged with years, you don't need to be saved on my phone, taking memory space.
Let's clean this shit the fuck up.
Right? You would have had a better chance of me answering if your number was not saved. Because I'm like, who the hell is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I'm seeing that no. No, 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 no.
It's crazy. It's crazy with death when somebody's like dead to you and they're still alive. They're still living.
Right? Yeah. And I even thought to myself, like if I was to go in public and I encountered this individual, I couldn't even shake their hands.
Yeah.
Just from men to men,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't shake your hand
Mm-hmm.
because of what you did.
Yeah.
And you would know that.
This is similar to how I feel about my parents. I can't I can't allow you to be that close to me because I can no longer put you in a position to hurt me anymore. I love you so much that I don't want to feel pain from somebody that I'm saying that I love.
Mm.
So the only way for me to make sure I no longer feel that is to make sure that you're dead to me. And that way you'll never be in a position ever again to make me feel pain. And it's because I love you.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you come to that realization?
I was trying to hate my parents and realize I couldn't. Yeah, so out of love, my parents are no longer in my life. And I never want to conflate the feeling of love and pain.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that may come into my life in the future.
Yeah.
So in order to make sure that my body understands the difference, I got to make sure that nobody's in my life that I love can bring me a certain amount of hurt.
Yeah. And if we go deeper into that, how has the transition from you leaving New York and your friends group and your network and all these people that you have access to going to across the world? Like you've been there for a year now?
Yeah.
A year?
Yeah, it's been a year.
Right, like
At this
looking
point right now, I flew from Mexico to LA.
So looking back over that year, what has that transition been for you? What did you talk about that?
It was lonely in the beginning. Physically, it was physically lonely in the beginning because I didn't have my friends in proximity. But over time, I've realized that my body feels happier. I feel happier, and then even times where things are scary or when things are just hard, like I still feel happy. I still feel comfortable with my person. I still feel like things are gonna be okay. So it's not like New York where, shit will get rough and I'll be like sad and I'll be down. Like shit gets rough and I'm still happy.
Yeah. And I also want to send a shout out to my wife, man, because losing my friend group, which also affected my identity and my view of myself, was a traumatic experience, and I chose to leave. But having someone that understands that, that's there for you, that's emotionally present, that allow you to communicate and to express that, not
Yeah.
judged by that, and also held you accountable. Right? Because my wife always say, "Yo, that's not your friend. Yo, I don't like this guy." And years later, she was 100% right.
Women be knowing.
Parents.
You got any takeaways from this?
It's okay to close some doors and move forward.
Yeah.
As men, we need to be able to speak up more and understand the way that society and the culture views us. Doesn't mean that we have to accept that. We have to continuously elevate our game because it's going to help the next generation. And it's okay to hold each other accountable and be respectful about it. And not everybody deserves access to you.
Yeah.
What about you?
My takeaway is that alpha males prioritize what's right for the group. Beta males prioritize the group.
Ooh. Ooh.
I just thought about that one.
Are you calling me alpha?
I mean, that's up to you to decide.
Leo, nigga. All right, bro. As always, it was a pleasure. Till next time.
Morning sessions. Later.
4 o'clock. Bye.